Hi guys, my name is Jewel. I'm a product support engineer here at Zenty, and today we will be doing an overview of our AV over IP IP400 4K 60 Hz series. Our IP400 encoder and decoder series is a flexible and powerful system that allows you to send resolutions up to 4K 60 color chroma 444. These devices enable the switching and distribution of 4K UHD media over standard gigabit Ethernet networks. So here we have our encoder. It has a power light, status LED, and then on the back here, we have our power port, PoE LAN port, optical connection port, HDMI in for our source, audio in, audio out, BIDF out, USB host, RS-232, and IR in and IR out. So now we have our decoder, we have our power LED, the status LED, the USB ports, and on the back here, we have the power port, our PoE LAN port, our fiber optic port, HDMI out, audio out, optical in, RS-232 port, and then also IR in and IR out. All right, now we have our IP controller. Here we have our LAN port, LAN 1, PoE port. Our LAN 2 port is non-PoE port, RS-232, and then we have our power port here. Right now we're going to discuss the connections of the encoder and decoders to the switch along with the controller. So right now we have 9 decoders and 2 encoders in our controller, all connected to our PoE switch. Now we're going to move over to our controller's web UI or web interface. Username, admin, password, admin. We're going to hit login. And then once we go to TX and RX, we see all of our devices that are currently set up. So right now we have 9 decoders and 2 encoders. So now that we have all of our devices connected, we see them on the web interface for the controller. Now we want to set our IP addresses for each device and then set them all to DHCP. So currently our IP addresses are okay, but if you need to change them, you can go to static 169.254.4.152. All right, so that IP address is good. We have our subnet mask 255.255.0.0. And these are the default IP scheme and subnet masks. So if you need to change it to match your network's IP, this is where you need to go. You hit static, you set it to the IP scheme of your network and the subnet mask, and then you hit apply right down here. Once you hit apply, the system or the encoder or decoder will reboot and will be now on the new IP address that is assigned. So then once we do that for each device, we then want to set that to DHCP. This will be helpful in the future should anything change with our network later on down the line. So I've already set the decoders to DHCP. Now we're going to set our encoders to DHCP. So I'm going to select DHCP and hit apply, hit OK. Gonna do that again for the second encoder. All right, we're gonna hit DHCP and then we're gonna do apply, OK. So right now they're gonna go through a reboot cycle. Once that's done, we can then go over to our ZNet configuration tool. Here we can search for all of our devices. So we're going to wait for our encoders to come back online. So while we're waiting on that, we can actually start to begin our video wall creating process. So first, we want to create our group, 3x3. Now we have our group. We're going to go to our group, right-click, create video wall. Video wall name will be 3x3. 3 rows, 3 columns. Hit OK. So now we have our 3x3 video wall. Next, we're going to create our layout, which is also a 3x3. But you can name it however you like. Hit OK. And we're going to select all of our displays and combine them again 3x3. So now we have everything combined as one video wall. So next we're going to assign our decoders to our respected displays. So here we're going to go here. You can do drag, or you can right click and select. But for now we will just drag. All right. So now we're going to select our TX or transmitter. Let's see which one this is. So we're going to change our transmitter. Okay, our transmitters are back online, so we're going to hit apply. And we should see our source come up on our 3x3 video wall. All right, so once we have our video wall together, then the last step is to upload our configuration to the controller. This will allow the ZNet app to see our configuration where you can make your adjustments of sources to displays. All right, so this is where you go to upload. You go to the controller, you right click, hit upload, and then yes. So once the uploading is complete, we can hit OK. And now we should be able to see our configuration in the ZNet app. All right, now that we have our configuration uploaded to the controller, now let's check our ZNet app to make sure everything is uploaded correctly and we can switch our sources as we need. So first we go to our connected devices. We see the ungrouped, which is nothing. And then we go to our 3x3 group, which we have all 9 decoders sectioned out. So right now we have our source, which is the Roku that's playing currently. So we want to change our source to the Apple TV. We just take it here and drag and drop. We should see the effect on our 3x3 video wall, which we do, which is great. If you come into the app and notice that your group is not here, what we can do is actually close out the app. We're going to close it, and we're going to reopen. And now we see our groups. I'm going to click our group. So this is our current source, which is the Apple TV. And then if we want to switch it back to the Roku, we just drag the Roku and drop. And now the displays will result in the Roku source. Here are some frequently asked questions. What if I'm not getting signal to my decoders from the source? So one thing to look for is on the encoders is the status light. If the status light is flashing or flickering, that indicates it is not detecting the source. So we want to make sure our HDMI cable is connected from the source to the encoders. We also want to check our resolution, make sure that's compatible to the displays and what they can support. And also check our cables to make sure that all of our HDMI cables or Ethernet cables are all good and functioning properly. So one thing to check for if you're not getting signal is network settings. Sometimes the decoders or encoder or the controller may do an IP reset. So let's say if your decoder does an IP reset or change, what you can do is disconnect your source from that decoder, check the bottom right-hand corner for the IP address of that decoder. If it has indeed changed, you can connect it directly to your PC, log into its web interface using the IP address /settings.html. This will allow you to go into the decoder and then set its IP address to what it needs to be. Once you've done that, you should then reconnect it back to your switch, reconfigure it to your settings and your video wall, and you should be able to get your source from your encoder. All right, guys, thank you for watching our overview of the AV over IP IP400 4K 60 Hz series. Please leave a comment and like and subscribe for more videos like this.